The cold seeps into my bones, a familiar ache that has nothing to do with the coming winter. It is the cold of being unseen, the chill of existing on the fringes. Here in the Stonefang Pack, status is everything, and I have none. I am Elara, an Omega, and in a world of powerful wolves, I am perceived as wolfless. My inner beast is a silent, sleeping thing, a void where others feel a raging fire. My existence is a quiet apology, a life spent with my gaze fixed on the ground so as not to offend the alphas and betas who stride past me, their power a palpable heat I can only dream of. My only solace comes at the end of the day, when the Great Hall has emptied and the leftovers have been cleared. I am allowed a small portion, the scraps deemed unworthy of the ranked wolves. It is more than some get. I take my bowl of thin, watery stew and slip out the kitchen's back door, my worn boots making no sound on the packed earth. The wind bites at my cheeks, carrying the scent of pine and the distant metallic tang of snow. She is always there, waiting in the gnarled roots of the oldest oak tree at the edge of the territory. An old woman, her face a roadmap of wrinkles, her eyes cloudy with age but still sharp, still aware. No one knows her name. She is just a ghost, one of the forgotten, clinging to the edges of pack life. She never speaks. She only ever accepts the bowl I offer, her gnarled fingers brushing mine. The touch is like dry leaves, but there is a strange, phantom warmth that lingers for a moment after she pulls away. Tonight, the stew is thicker than usual. Someone must have been careless with the ladle. I hold the wooden bowl close, guarding its meager warmth against my chest as I navigate the shadows. The air is electric, humming with an energy that makes the fine hairs on my arms stand up. The Alpha King is visiting. King Kalin, ruler of all the northern packs, has come to our settlement for the annual Tithe of Strength ceremony, where our strongest warriors pledge their fealty. His presence is a storm on the horizon, a pressure that makes even an Omega like me feel small and breathless. I find her in our usual spot. I offer the bowl. Her gaze is different tonight, less cloudy, more focused. She looks from the bowl, up to my face, and then toward the distant glow of the ceremonial bonfire in the main clearing. She does not take the soup. Instead, she gives a slight, almost imperceptible shake of her head, her hand gesturing for me to go. A silent urging. I do not understand it, but a strange compulsion, a pull I cannot name, makes me turn back toward the sounds of the pack. My wolf, the dormant, useless thing inside me, stirs for the first time in my life. It is not a growl or a roar. It is a whisper, a single, resonant word that shivers through my soul. Mate. The scent hits me first, a tidal wave that drowns out the smell of wood smoke and roasting meat. It is indescribably potent, a fragrance of snow-covered pines, of cold, clean stone after a winter storm, and of something else, something fiercely masculine and dominant. It is the scent of power, of an alpha, of a king. It calls to the deepest, most dormant part of me, and my feet carry me forward, out of the shadows and toward the light, a moth drawn to a devastating flame. I stumble into the clearing, a place I'm forbidden to be during a high ceremony. Hundreds of wolves are gathered, their powerful forms silhouetted against the roaring fire. But I only see one. He stands on a raised dais, taller and broader than any man I have ever seen. His hair is the color of midnight, his eyes the piercing gray of a winter sky. Alpha King Kalin. His head snaps in my direction, his body going rigid. His gaze locks with mine across the clearing, and the world falls away. The air crackles. The hum I felt before intensifies into a deafening roar in my ears. I see his nostrils flare, see the shock that ripples through his powerful frame. He smells it too, the impossible truth. The fates, in their infinite cruelty or their divine wisdom, have bound me, a wolfless omega, to the Alpha King. The bond recognition is a physical blow, a bolt of lightning that arcs between us, searing a path directly to my heart. Hope, a feeling I had long ago buried, blooms painful and bright in my chest. For one breathtaking moment, I see a reflection of that same hope in his stormy eyes. I am not just a scrap of a girl. I am his. Mine, the whisper comes again, stronger this time, possessive. The moment shatters. His eyes narrow, the shock replaced by a dawning horror, then by cold, hard calculation. He glances at the stern-faced elders flanking him, their sense thick with disapproval. He looks at the sea of powerful warriors staring at us, their confusion turning to murmurs of disbelief. He looks back at me, at my threadbare tunic, my low status, my utter unworthiness plain for all to see. And I see the choice he is about to make. The hope in my chest withers and dies, turning to ice. He raises a hand, silencing the crowd. His voice, when it comes, is a weapon, each word honed to a razor's edge. It booms across the clearing, imbued with the power of his alpha command, forcing every wolf, including me, to listen. I feel the bond, he says, his voice devoid of all warmth. The admission hangs in the air, a confirmation that makes the next words 1,000 times more brutal. The fates have erred. They have chosen a flawed vessel, a weak link. My breath catches in my throat. Every eye is on me, a crushing weight of judgment and scorn. I want to run, to hide, but my feet are rooted to the spot, forced to bear witness to my own execution. The Luna of the Northern Packs must be a pillar of strength, a warrior, a true wolf, not this. He gestures to me dismissively, as if I am a piece of dirt on his boot. The gesture is more painful than a physical blow. Laughter, cruel and sharp, ripples through some of the younger warriors. The ice in my chest spreads, a creeping frost that numbs my limbs. My silent wolf howls in agony, a sound only I can hear. No, mine. Kalen takes a deep, deliberate breath, his face a mask of regal indifference. He is an alpha king making a decision for his people, crushing a peasant girl's heart beneath the heel of his duty. He looks directly at me, his gray eyes as unforgiving as granite. I, Alpha King, Kalen of the Stonefang Peaks, he proclaims, his voice ringing with finality, hereby reject you, Ilara, as my mate and my Luna. The words are a physical force. They slam into me, shattering the fragile bond that had just begun to form. The pain is blinding, a white-hot agony that starts in my chest and explodes through every nerve in my body. It is worse than any burn, any break. It is the pain of my soul being torn in two. A strangled cry escapes my lips, and my knees buckle. I fall to the unforgiving ground, the scent of him already beginning to fade, replaced by the bitter, metallic smell of my own blood where I bit my tongue. He turns his back on me. The ceremony continues as if I am already dead. No one helps me. No one speaks to me. I am less than nothing. A rejected mate is a curse, an omen of weakness. I push myself to my hands and knees, the world swimming in a haze of pain. I crawl, dragging myself away from the firelight, away from the laughter, away from the scent of the man who has just destroyed me. I am cast out before the sun rises. Our pack Alpha, his face grim with shame at hosting such an event, has me escorted to the edge of our territory. My meager belongings, a spare tunic and a small blanket, are thrown at my feet. You are no longer of this pack, he says, his voice flat. The king's rejection marks you. You are an exile. The two guards shove me past the ancient marker stones that delineate our land. As I stumble across the border, a final severing pang of loss hits me. The invisible tether that connects every member to their pack, their home, snaps. Now, I am truly alone. I walk for days, or maybe it is weeks. Time loses its meaning, measured only in the gnawing emptiness in my stomach and the relentless, throbbing ache in my soul where the bond used to be. The wilderness is unforgiving. The nights are a tapestry of freezing winds and the cries of predators. I am prey now, in a way I never was before. I am weak, wolfless, and packless. I should die. Everything in my past has taught me that someone like me cannot survive this. I collapse at the base of a frozen waterfall, my body finally giving out. The snow is soft, a cold, welcoming bed. It would be so easy to close my eyes, to let the numbness take over, to simply fade away. The pain would stop, the humiliation would end. Death is a quiet, gentle promise, but as the darkness begins to close in, a spark ignites in the deepest part of my being. It is not my wolf. It is something else. A flicker of defiance, a core of stubbornness I never knew I possessed. He did not get to be the end of me. Kalen, with his crown and his cruelty, would not have the satisfaction of my death. My life, however wretched, is my own. The spark grows into a tiny flame, a pinprick of warmth in the vast, freezing emptiness of my chest. Live, it whispers. It is not a command, not a plea. It is a statement of fact. I will live. I force my eyes open, the world a blur of white. I grit my teeth, ignoring the agony, and push myself up. I will survive this. I will endure. And one day I will be something more than the girl he broke. That is a promise I make to the uncaring sky, a vow sealed in ice and pain. I take one step, then another, walking away from the ghost of who I was, and toward a future I cannot yet imagine. 3 years passed. They are 3 years carved from stone and ice, 3 years of forging a new self from the ashes of the old. The wilderness that was meant to be my grave became my crucible. I learned the language of the forest, the bite of the wind, the patterns of the stars. Hunger became my teacher, fear my companion. I did not die. I adapted. The tiny spark of warmth I felt in the snow that day grew. It was a strange, quiet power, utterly unlike the fierce, lupine energy of the shifters I had known. It was tied to the moon. On nights of the full moon, it would surge within me, a cool, silvery light that soothed the constant ache of the broken bond. It gave me strength, speed, and senses that were different from a wolf's, yet just as sharp. I could feel the life in the trees, hear the whisper of water flowing deep underground. I was not wolfless. I was something else entirely. One winter evening, huddling for warmth in a shallow cave, I was found. A figure emerged from the swirling snow, cloaked and silent. My first instinct was to run, but the scent that reached me was achingly familiar. It was the scent of dry leaves and old secrets. It was the old woman from the oak tree. But she was not old. As she lowered her hood, the face I saw was not wrinkled and frail, but timeless and powerful. Her eyes, once cloudy, were the color of liquid silver, glowing with an inner light. "I have been watching you, Ilara," she said, her voice like the rustle of ancient scrolls. waiting for you to be ready. Her name was Morwen, and she was the last guardian of the Silverwood Glade, a hidden sanctuary for those who did not fit into the rigid packs of the wolf shifters. And she was the one to finally give me the truth. The old woman guise was a test, a way to observe the packs without being seen, to search for a heart worthy of what had been lost. My nightly offerings of soup, an act of kindness from someone who had almost nothing, had marked me. "You are not wolfless," she explained, her silver eyes gazing into me. "You are the last of the lunar line, a daughter of the moon whose magic was thought to be extinguished 1,000 years ago. Your ancestors were the first queens, the balance to the raw power of the Alpha Kings. Their magic was not of the beast, but of the cosmos. She taught me everything. The silent, sleeping thing inside me was not a wolf, but a dormant magic, the heritage of my bloodline. Under her tutelage, I learned to call it, to shape it. It was a difficult, painful process. It required me to face the trauma of my rejection, to accept the broken piece of my soul, and learn to live with the scar. The power did not heal the wound, but it taught me to build around it, to make it a source of strength rather than weakness. I trained with the other exiles who had found their way to the glade, shifters who were misshapen, whose wolves were too wild, or who had been cast out for loving the wrong person. They were a pack of strays, of broken things, and they began to look to me. My training was relentless. I learned to fight not with fang and claw, but with blades of moonlight that I could summon from my hands. I learned to weave illusions from shadow and starlight, to heal with a touch, to move as silently as a moonbeam. The frail Omega girl was gone, burned away in the fire of my transformation. In her place stood a warrior, a leader. The exiles of Silverwood Glade, once a scattered group of survivors, became a community under my guidance. We built a home, a society based not on a hierarchy of strength, but on mutual respect. They did not see me as a flawed vessel. They saw me as their salvation. They called me their queen. I had never sought power, but it had found me in the darkness. I was no longer Ilara, the rejected Omega. I am Queen Ilara of the Silverwood Glade, and my power is my own. I wear it not as a crown, but as armor. It is a shield against the memory of Kalen's face, against the echo of his voice that still, in the dead of night, whispers my rejection. I have a home. I have a people. I tell myself it is enough. I am observing the training of my warriors when Liam finds me. He is the alpha of the Sunstone Pack, our closest neighbors, a small but fiercely loyal group that borders the treacherous Shadowlands. He is kind, his presence a steady warmth like sunlight on stone. His scent is clean and honest. He smells of summer earth and warm winds. It is a comforting scent, one that holds no ghosts and no pain. "My queen," he says, his voice a low, respectful rumble. He inclines his head, but his eyes meet mine as an equal. He is one of the few alphas who sees me, not my title or my power. "Alpha Liam," I reply, offering a small, genuine smile. "I trust your journey was safe. As safe as any journey near the Shadowlands can be these days," he says, his expression turning serious. "The Umbra are growing bolder. They attacked one of my patrols this morning, not 2 miles from my border. We lost a good wolf. The Umbra, they are the reason for my alliance with Liam. They are creatures of nightmare, sentient shadows that feed on the life force of shifters, leaving behind nothing but dust and terror. For years, they were a minor threat, clinging to the deepest parts of the blighted lands. But in the last 3 years, their power has grown exponentially. They have become organized, intelligent, and relentlessly aggressive. I am sorry for your loss, Liam, I say, and I mean it. His pain is a sharp, clear note in the air. My sentries have reported the same. They move with a purpose they lacked before. It is as the seers have said, he continues, his gaze intense. The balance is broken. Without a true Luna Queen to anchor the great bond, the shadows deepen. Kaelin's kingdom is feeling it the worst, or so the rumors say. The Umbra prey on his lands like locusts. I flinch internally at the mention of Kaelin's name. It is a wound that has never fully closed, a scar that still aches when the air grows cold. I have built a kingdom, forged a new identity, but I cannot erase the man who set me on this path. Liam notices my reaction, his expression softening with sympathy. He has known my story since the beginning of our alliance. He has never treated me with pity, only with a quiet, unwavering respect that has slowly chipped away at the ice around my heart. Ilara, he says, his voice gentle, you have built something remarkable here. You have given hope to the hopeless. You are more of a queen than any Luna born to a silver cradle. He takes a hesitant step closer. You deserve a partner who sees that, who honors that. His intent is as clear as his scent. He offers safety. He offers respect. He offers a life free from the ghosts of the past. A logical part of me knows he is the right choice. He is a good man, a strong alpha. A life with him would be peaceful. My people would be secure. It is everything I should want. But the broken place in my soul, the place Kaelin hollowed out, remains stubbornly empty. It answers to no one but the ghost of a winter storm and the scent of pine. Before I can form a reply, a frantic scout, one of my fastest runners, bursts into the clearing. Her breath comes in ragged gasps, her scent sharp with panic. My queen, she pants, bowing hastily. A rider from the Stonefang pack. He carries the king's seal. All alphas and leaders are being summoned to an emergency council at the old fortress of Greytor. The name hangs in the air between us. Kaelin. He is summoning us. The Umbra, Liam murmurs, his hand instinctively going to the hilt of his sword. They must have done something catastrophic. My heart begins to hammer against my ribs, a frantic, trapped bird. Greytor. It is neutral ground, but it is close to his central territory. After 3 years of building a life away from him, the fates are dragging me back. I look at Liam, at his steady, concerned face. I look at my scout, her eyes wide with fear for what is to come. The time for hiding in my silver glade is over. The shadow that has been growing in the dark is finally forcing all the players onto the board, and I will have to face the king who cast me away. I can feel his presence before I ever see him. It's a pressure in the air, a familiar weight that settles over my shoulders and makes the scar on my soul ache with a phantom cold. My wolf, or whatever she is, the lunar spirit within me, bristles, not with fear, but with a cold, clear fury. Pretender, breaker, ours. The thoughts are not mine, but they echo my own feelings perfectly. I am my father's daughter. He was the alpha of a small pack, and he was nothing if not a survivor. He taught me to live in the shadows, to make myself small, to never draw the eye of those more powerful. His lessons were meant to keep me safe in a world that had no place for me. But he is gone now, lost to a border skirmish years ago, and I am no longer small. I am no longer in the shadows. I am the first to arrive at the Great Hall of Greytor, my retinue of 20 hand-picked Silverwood warriors flanking me. They move with a silent grace that is unnerving to the stone fang guards at the door, their armor inlaid with moonstone that seems to drink the torchlight. We are an unsettling sight, and I revel in it. I am not the shivering Omega they threw away. I am a queen, and I will be seen as such. The hall is vast and cold, dominated by a huge, round table of petrified oak. Other leaders begin to arrive. Alphas from a dozen packs, their scents a chaotic mix of earth, fire, and water. They eye me with suspicion and curiosity. Rumors of the Lunar Queen have spread, but few have seen me in person. Liam arrives shortly after me, taking a seat at my side, a silent statement of allegiance that does not go unnoticed. Then, the great doors swing open, and the air is stolen from my lungs. Kalen enters. 3 years have been both kind and cruel to him. He is broader, harder, the lines of his face carved deeper by the burdens of kingship. But there is a hollowness to him I do not remember. Dark circles bruise the skin beneath his winter gray eyes. His scent, the one that is burned into my memory, is still pine and storm, but it is tainted now with something else. The bitter tang of sleepless nights, of frustration, and of a deep, soul-crushing loneliness. His lichen, the powerful beast that should be his strength, is a discordant note in his scent, a rage turned inward. His gaze sweeps the room, assessing, commanding. Then his eyes find me. The world stops. The low murmur of the gathered alphas fades to nothing. The crackle of the torches, the drip of water from the stone ceiling, all of it vanishes. There is only the invisible, searing line of connection between us. The broken bond shrieks to life, a phantom limb aching with a pain so intense it makes me gasp. I see the shock hit him like a physical blow. His face, already pale, loses all color. His nostrils flare, and I know he is drowning in my scent, a fragrance he has not encountered in 3 long years. It is no longer the simple, unassuming scent of a young girl. It is moonflower and winter frost, starlight and cold, sharp power. It is the scent of everything he threw away. Mine, his lichen roars across the shattered bond, a desperate, possessive cry that I feel in the marrow of my bones. My own spirit answers with a cold, silent snarl. No. He takes a half step toward me, an instinctual primal movement before he catches himself. His jaw clenches, and the mask of the king slams back into place. But it is too late. Everyone in the room has seen it. Everyone has felt the shift in the atmosphere, the explosion of raw, untamed energy. They have seen the Alpha King, the most powerful wolf in the north, falter at the sight of me. The power dynamic has irrevocably, publicly flipped. He forces his gaze away from me, striding to the head of the table. His movements are stiff, his control stretched taut. Alphas, leaders, he begins, his voice rougher than I remember. I have summoned you because our people stand on the brink of annihilation. He lays it out in grim detail. The Umbra have overrun 2 of his northernmost territories. They are no longer just raiding. They are consuming entire settlements. They have a leader, a being of immense power that the survivors call the Night King, who seems able to command the lesser shadows as an army. Our warriors are the strongest in the world, Kalen says, his gaze finally reluctantly returning to me. But we are fighting a war of attrition we cannot win. They are not flesh and blood. Our claws find little purchase. Our strength wanes while theirs grows. The seers and scholars are in agreement. This is a plague of imbalance, a spiritual corruption, and it can only be purged by the one power that was created to be its opposite. He does not need to say my name. Every eye in the room turns to me. I am their only hope. The irony is a bitter pill in my throat. The flawed vessel, the weak link, is now the cornerstone of their survival. What would you ask of me, King Kalen? I ask. My voice is ice. I do not stand. I do not grant him that deference. The use of his full title is a deliberate jab, a reminder of the power he wielded when he broke me. A muscle feathers in his jaw. I would ask for your help, Queen Ilara, he says, the words tasting like ash in his mouth. I ask for an alliance. An alliance? I repeat softly, letting the word hang in the air. You ask for an alliance with the woman you rejected and exiled. A wave of his pain and shame washes over me through the bond, so potent it almost makes me dizzy. His lichen is howling inside him, a storm of self-loathing. Beg, grovel, make her see. My actions that day were a mistake, he grinds out, the admission costing him dearly. A mistake? I give a small, cold laugh. Liam places a steadying hand on my arm, a silent anchor in the storm. Kalen's eyes flash to the point of contact, and a low, possessive growl rumbles in his chest, a sound he cannot contain. Several of the other alphas shift uncomfortably. It was not a mistake, Your Majesty, I say, leaning forward slightly. It was a choice. You chose pride. You chose politics. You chose to break a sacred bond rather than be seen with a mate you deemed unworthy. Now, your kingdom is crumbling, and you come to the flawed vessel for salvation. The price for my help will be steep, and it will be on my terms. Only my terms. I stand, my chair scraping against the stone floor. You will have my answer in the morning. I need to consult with my allies. I glance pointedly at Liam, whose presence at my side is a clear challenge. I turn and sweep from the room, my warriors falling into formation behind me. I do not look back, but I can feel his gaze on me, a desperate, burning weight. I have him exactly where I want him, broken, desperate, and finally understanding the magnitude of what he has lost. The question is, what will I do with him now? The thought offers no satisfaction, only a deep, profound ache. I switch to Kalen's point of view. The scent of her is a phantom that haunts the fortress. Moonflower and winter frost. It clings to the air in the great hall, a sweet torment that makes my lungs burn. I stand alone at the head of the great oak table, long after the others have gone. My hands braced on its surface, my head bowed. My lichen, the beast that has been my strength and my compass my entire life, is a vortex of fury inside me. You let her walk away, he snarls, his voice a guttural echo in my mind. Again, fool, weakling. He is right. For 3 years he has been my tormentor. From the moment I uttered those damnable words of rejection, he turned on me. The bond, even broken, left a gaping wound in my soul, and my own beast pours salt in it every single day. I have not known a full night's sleep since that day. I wake up gasping, reaching for a woman who is not there, the scent of her fading from a dream that is always just out of reach. I have tried to move on. My council pushed prospective mates on me, powerful alpha females from allied packs, but the scent of them is cloying, repulsive. Their touch feels like ash. There is only one. There will only ever be one. And now she is here. But she is not the timid, frightened girl I remember. She is a queen. The power that radiates from her is a cool, silver flame, a stark contrast to the hot red fire of the wolves. It calls to my lichen on a primal level he cannot ignore, and it terrifies the man in me. She holds the survival of my people in her hands, and she looks at me with the righteous hatred I have more than earned. She has another male. My beast rages. That sun-warmed cur. He touches her. He stands at her side, her protector, a place that is ours. The image of Liam's hand on her arm is seared into my mind. The primitive, possessive rage that flooded me was so strong I could barely contain the growl. To see another male so close to her, offering the comfort and support that I should have been providing, is a unique and exquisite form of torture. I broke her, and this Alpha Liam helped put her back together. How can I possibly compete with that? My king. My beta, Damon, enters the hall cautiously. He is my oldest friend, the only one who has dared to speak the truth to me over these last few years. You are punishing yourself for nothing. I am punishing myself for everything. I rasp, my voice raw. Did you see her, Damon? Did you see what she has become? I saw a powerful queen, he says quietly. And I saw the Omega girl you exiled. They are one and the same. You did not break her, Kaelin. You forged her. I cast her into the fire, I counter, slamming my fist on the table. The wood groans in protest. I sentenced her to death. Her strength is in spite of me, not because of me, and she will never, ever let me forget it. Nor should she, the lichen growls. We deserve her hatred, but we will have her forgiveness. Whatever it takes. He is right. My pride cost me my mate, and it is costing my kingdom its future. The Umbra are a physical manifestation of my failure, a shadow plague born from the hole I ripped in the world's balance. To save my people, I need her, but it is more than that now. I need her to save myself. I need her to look at me and see something other than the arrogant fool who threw her away. I leave the hall and climb the winding stairs to the top of the highest tower. The wind is cold, but it does nothing to cool the fire in my blood. I look out over the dark, sleeping lands, towards the direction she disappeared. The alliance is a necessity. It is the only way to get her close, to force her to see me, to speak with me. The external threat of the Umbra is our only path to reconciliation. The War Council meetings are a torment. We are forced into the same room for hours each day, poring over maps, devising strategies. Ilara is brilliant. Her mind is as sharp as the blades of moonlight she is rumored to wield. She sees patterns in the Umbra's attacks that my best trackers have missed. She anticipates their movements with an unnerving prescience. She commands the respect of every alpha in the room, even the old, stubborn ones who initially scoffed at a lunar queen. And she ignores me. She addresses her comments to the council, to Liam, to anyone but me. If I ask her a direct question, she gives a curt, precise answer without meeting my eyes. The proximity is agony. Her scent is a constant, maddening presence. It fills my senses, a reminder of everything I cannot have. I watch the easy way she interacts with Liam, the small smiles she grants him, the way he fetches her a cup of tea without being asked. Each small intimacy is a dagger in my gut. The threat forces us together on the battlefield as well. We lead a joint scouting mission into the blighted edges of the Shadowlands. It is the first time I see her fight. The Umbra descend upon us, coalescing from the deepening twilight. My warriors form a defensive circle, all fang and claw and brute strength. But Ilara, she is something else. She moves like a dancer in a storm of her own making. She doesn't meet their force with force. She flows around them, a silver whirlwind. Blades of pure, solidified moonlight form in her hands, and they pass through the shadow creatures like they are not there, leaving trails of dissipating black smoke. She is beautiful and terrifying, and my lichen howls with pride. Our mate, our queen. An umbra ambushes her from behind, a hulking beast of solidified nightmare. I react without thinking, my body moving on pure instinct. I throw myself in its path, my claws tearing through its shadowy form. It dissolves with a shriek, but not before its spectral talons rake across my arm, leaving behind a deep, chilling cold that seeps into my bones. I did not require your assistance, Ilara says, her voice sharp, though her eyes betray a flicker of something else. Concern? My apologies, Your Majesty. I bite out, clutching my arm. The cold is spreading, a venomous frost. My instincts to protect the Council's most valuable asset took over. Her eyes narrow at my formal, sarcastic tone. She steps closer, her gaze fixed on the wound. That is no ordinary cut. It is infused with their essence. It will not heal on its own. Before I can protest, she reaches out and places her hand over the wound. Her touch is not warm. It is cool, like river stones, but it is a clean, soothing cold that immediately begins to push back the necrotic chill of the Umbra's magic. A soft, silver light emanates from her palm, and the pain in my arm begins to recede. The simple, clinical touch is the most intimate contact we have had in 3 years, and it is undoing me. The bond, shattered as it is, sings with a desperate, hopeful note. Thank you, I manage to say, my voice thick. She pulls her hand back as if she has been burned, her expression guarded once more. You are the king. Your survival is strategically important, she says coldly, but her scent is a riot of confused emotions. The cool frost of her power is mingled with the warmer, sweeter scent of something I dare not name. I know this is my only chance. The pretense of strategy and politics is wearing thin. I need to face her, alone. I need to lay my soul bare and pray it is not too late. That night, I find her standing on the battlements and gazing up at the full moon. Its light bathes her in silver, making her seem ethereal, otherworldly. Liam is not with her. She is alone. My heart hammers against my ribs. This is it. I approach her slowly, my footsteps loud in the silence. She does not turn. She knows I am there. Ilara, I begin, my voice barely a whisper. She turns, and her eyes are cold stone. Queen Ilara, she corrects me, her voice cutting. Queen Ilara, I concede, the title a deserved punishment. I stop a few feet from her. I can't get any closer without feeling like I am going to shatter. I did not come here to talk about the war. Then you are wasting my time, she says, turning to leave. Please. The word is torn from me, raw and desperate. It stops her. It is a word no one has ever heard me use. 5 minutes. That's all I ask. She hesitates, then gives a stiff, reluctant nod. I take a deep breath, the scent of her threatening to overwhelm my resolve. There are no excuses, no justifications, only the truth. What I did to you, there is no word for it. It was not a mistake. It was a failure as a man, as a wolf, and as a king. I was arrogant. I was a coward. I listened to the whispers of pride and politics instead of the song of my own soul. My voice breaks, but I force myself to continue, to meet her unyielding gaze. I broke the most sacred law. I broke you, and in doing so, I broke myself. Every day for 3 years, I have lived in a hell of my own making. My lichen despises me. The silence in my heart, where your half of the bond should be, is a constant screaming void. I threw away the greatest gift the fates could ever offer because I was weak. I take another step, my body trembling with the force of my confession. And then I do the one thing an Alpha King is never supposed to do. I go to my knees. The stone of the battlement is cold and hard, a fitting penance. I lower my head, baring the back of my neck to her, the ultimate act of submission. I am not asking for your forgiveness, I say, my voice muffled. I have no right to it. I am not asking you to choose me. I am here to tell you that whatever you decide, I will accept it. If you choose Liam, if you choose to build a life with him and never look at me again, I will honor it. I will defend your choice with my last breath. All I ask is that you know the truth, that the man who rejected you died on that dais 3 years ago. The man kneeling before you now would burn his own kingdom to the ground for a single chance to be worthy of you. Silence stretches, thick and heavy. I keep my head bowed, my throat exposed, offering her the power of my life or death. I have laid my broken pride, my regret, and my heart at her feet. There is nothing left to do but wait for her judgment. I can feel her shock. It radiates from her in waves, a tremor in the cool, controlled aura she projects. The scent of moonflower is suddenly stronger, laced with an undeniable tremor of turmoil. She does not speak. The silence is a physical weight pressing down on me. I hear the soft scrape of a boot on stone and brace myself for her to walk away, for the final, deserved turning of her back. Instead, a shadow falls over me. I feel her presence directly in front of me, so close I can feel the cool energy that surrounds her. "Get up," she says. Her voice is not cold anymore. It is something else, something tight and strained. "No," I reply, my voice firm despite my posture of utter submission. "Not until you understand. This is not a strategy. This is not a king manipulating a political asset. This is all I have left, the truth." "You think this changes anything?" she asks, and now there is a tremor in her voice. "You think kneeling erases the nights I spent freezing in the wilderness, certain I was going to die? Does it erase the humiliation, the pain of being torn apart from the inside out? Your suffering does not negate mine, Kaelin." "I know," I whisper to the stone. "Nothing can erase it. I would take it all from you if I could. I would bear every scar, every moment of pain, 1,000 times over if it would spare you the memory. But I cannot. All I can do is offer you my future, to spend every day of my life trying to heal the wounds I inflicted, to prove that I have changed." She is silent again for a long time. Then I hear a soft, shaky breath. "Why should I believe you? Words are easy." "Then let my actions speak," I say, finally lifting my head to look at her. The moonlight catches the unshed tears glistening in her eyes, and the sight breaks what is left of my heart. Give me the chance to show you, not as a king, not as your mate, as an ally, as a soldier under your command. Let me earn back a fraction of the respect I threw away." Her composure is cracking. The queen's mask is slipping, revealing the woman beneath. A woman who is just as caught in this storm as I am. "I don't know if I can," she whispers, and the confession is a raw, honest wound. "I have built walls of ice around my heart, Kaelin. I don't know how to tear them down. I don't know if I want to." "Then don't," I say, my sincerity absolute. Let me stand on the outside of them and prove I am no longer the man who would breach them with force. Let me prove I am the man who will wait for as long as it takes for you to feel safe enough to open the gate yourself, even if that day never comes. Just then, another set of footsteps approaches. Liam. His scent of warm earth is a sudden, jarring intrusion. He stops a few paces away, his gaze taking in the scene. Me, kneeling, Ilara standing over me, her face a mask of turmoil. Ilara, he says softly, his voice full of concern. He does not look at me. His focus is entirely on her. Ilara turns her head toward him, and in that moment, I see the conflict warring within her. Liam represents safety, a future free of pain, the logical choice. I represent the wound, the chaos, the devastating pull of a bond that will not be denied. Liam's eyes are wise. He looks from her tormented face back to me, still kneeling, my soul bared for all to see. A look of sad, profound understanding dawns on his face. He gives her a small, sad smile. I think you and I need to talk, he says gently. Then he turns his gaze to me. Get up, Your Majesty. This is no place for a king. His voice holds no malice, only a weary resignation. He knows. He sees the truth she has been trying to deny. He knows he cannot compete with this. He gently takes her arm, and this time, the touch does not ignite my rage. It is the touch of a friend, guiding another from a precipice. He leads her away, leaving me alone on the battlements, the cold stone a stark reminder of my penance. I have done all I can. The choice is now hers. I am back in my own perspective. Liam leads me to a quiet alcove, away from the wind and the prying eyes of the guards. He says nothing, simply waiting for me to speak, granting me the space I need to process the cataclysm that just occurred. Kaelin, on his knees, the Alpha King, submitting. The words he spoke, they were not the words of a politician. They were the words of a broken man, and they have shaken me to my very core. He meant it, I whisper, the words tasting foreign on my tongue. I have lived for 3 years on a steady diet of righteous anger and cold resolve. This feeling, this treacherous thaw, is terrifying. Yes, Liam says quietly. He did. I look at him, at his kind, honest face. He is the harbor I have sheltered in. He is the warmth that kept the ice from consuming me completely. Liam, He holds up a hand, stopping me. His smile is gentle, but it does not reach his eyes. Ilara, from the moment I met you, I saw your strength. I saw the queen you were, even when you were still learning to wear the crown, and I fell in love with that queen. My heart aches at his words. Liam. No, let me finish, he insists. I offered you my allegiance, my friendship, and my heart, and I meant every bit of it. I hoped that what I offered would be enough to build a life on. A good life. A peaceful one. He pauses, his gaze searching mine. But I have seen the way you look at him when you think no one is watching. And I saw the way he looks at you tonight. I am a wolf, Ilara. I understand the mate bond. It is a song that only 2 souls can hear. I can stand beside you and hum along, but I can never truly be a part of the music. Tears prick my eyes. You are not a second choice. I know, he says, and his dignity is a thing of beauty, and I refuse to be one. You are facing an impossible choice. Your heart is pulling you toward the man who hurt you, and your head is telling you to run to safety with me. But a life lived in safety is not the same as a life lived fully. I cannot be your shield against him. Your path lies through this storm, not around it. You have to face him, and you have to do it with an open heart, whatever the outcome. He reaches out and cups my cheek, his thumb gently wiping away a stray tear. I will always be your ally. The Sunstone Pack will always stand with the Silverwood Glade, and I will always be your friend. But I cannot be your mate. My heart is not the one your soul is calling for. He leans in and presses a soft, chaste kiss to my forehead. It is a kiss of farewell, of friendship, of letting go. Make the choice that will make you whole, Ilara, he whispers, even if it's the harder one. With that, he turns and walks away, leaving me alone with the moon, my tumultuous thoughts, and the echo of his noble sacrifice. He has given me my freedom. He has removed the safe option, forcing me to confront the terrifying, chaotic truth. My path does not lead away from Kalen. It leads directly to him. The walls of ice I so carefully constructed are melting, and I am terrified of the flood that will be left in their wake. The final battle begins at dawn. It is not a skirmish or a raid. It is an invasion. A tide of blackness pours from the Shadowlands, a silent, swarming army of Umbra that blots out the rising sun. At their head is a figure that rides a steed of solidified nightmare, a crown of jagged shadow on its head, the Night King. Its presence is a vortex of cold and despair that saps the will of even the strongest warriors. There is no more time for choices or contemplation. There is only the war. I stand on the front lines with Kalen at my side. We do not speak. We do not need to. A new understanding flows between us, forged in his confession and Liam's sacrifice. We are two halves of a whole, whether I have accepted it or not, and we will face this darkness together. For the North! Kalen roars, and his cry is met by the howls of 1,000 wolves as they charge. The battle is chaos. It's the roar of wolves, the clash of steel, the silent, terrifying shrieks of dissolving Umbra. I move through the fray, my moon blades a silver light in the encroaching darkness. I am a beacon, and the Umbra feel it. They are drawn to me, converging on my position, seeking to extinguish the light that is their antithesis. Kalen fights like a demon. He is no longer just a king. He is a warrior protecting his mate, and the primal power flowing from him is staggering. He and his royal guard carve a path through the shadow horde, trying to reach the Night King. But the true target is me. The Night King disengages from its fight with another alpha and turns its full attention on me. It glides through the battle, its spectral form untouchable. It raises a hand, and a spear of pure, solidified darkness materializes, humming with necrotic energy. It is aimed at my heart. I raise my own blades to defend, but I know I will not be fast enough. The air is too thick with its power, my own energy being drained by the sheer proximity to it. Time seems to slow. I see the spear leave the Night King's hand. I see the horrified look on Liam's face from across the battlefield. I brace for the impact, for the end. It never comes. A massive form slams into me, knocking me to the ground. For a horrifying second, I think it's an Umbra, but then I smell it. Pine and winter, storm. Kalen. He has thrown himself in front of me, his body shielding mine. The spear of darkness hits him square in the chest. A sound of pure agony is torn from his throat, a sound that is both man and beast. He stumbles back, his eyes wide with shock and pain. A black, spider-webbing corruption spreads from the wound, pulsing with dark energy. It is a mortal blow. I see it in his eyes. No. The cry is not a whisper. It is a roar that shakes my very soul. It is my own voice and the voice of my lunar spirit merged into one. The last of my walls, the final sheet of ice around my heart, does not melt. It shatters. It explodes into a million pieces. The thought of the world without him in it, the thought of this final, ultimate silence between us, is a pain so profound it eclipses everything else. It is worse than the rejection, worse than the exile, worse than the loneliness. He falls to one knee, his hand clutching the wound, his lifeblood, thick and dark, pouring between his fingers. His lichen is raging, not in pain, but in triumph. Protected, mate, safe. He looks at me, and in his pain-filled eyes, I see no regret, only a fierce, desperate love. He did it. His actions spoke louder than any words ever could. He proved it. He proved he was no longer the man who would sacrifice me for his kingdom, but the man who would sacrifice himself for me. Rage, pure and absolute, floods me. A rage directed at the Night King who dared to harm him. Power, more than I have ever felt before, surges through me. It is the full, untamed power of the moon, and it answers the call of my grief. You, I snarl, my voice a low, dangerous command that cuts through the din of battle. The Night King turns its empty gaze to me, sensing the shift. I rise to my feet, my body glowing with a silver incandescence. I leave Kalen's side, my focus narrowing to a single point. I walk toward the Night King, and the lesser umbra dissolve into smoke as I pass, unable to bear the purity of my light. He is dying, and I have made my choice. I ignore the Night King. I ignore the battle. Nothing else matters. I drop to my knees beside Kalen, my hands hovering over the ghastly wound in his chest. The black corruption is spreading, fighting against his life force, extinguishing the fire of his soul. His breathing is shallow, ragged. Ilara, he chokes out, a bloody froth on his lips. You're safe. You fool, I sob, tears streaming down my face and dripping onto his armor. You absolute stubborn fool. Worth it, he whispers, his eyes fluttering. His lichen is quiet now, a fading ember. Ours. I will not let him go. I will not allow the fates to be this cruel, to give him back to me, only to snatch him away again. The power of my ancestors, the magic of the moon, sings in my blood. It is a power of balance, of life, of creation. And it is a power that is meant to be shared. I lean down, my hair curtaining our faces from the world. I look into his fading gray eyes. I choose you, Kalen. I whisper, my voice thick with emotion. I have always chosen you. I press my lips to his. His are cold, the taste of his blood sharp on my tongue. And I say the words, the ancient vow that will seal our fate, one way or another. I, Queen Ilara of the Silverwood Glade, accept you, Kalen of the Stonefang Peaks, as my mate, as my king, as my other half. The moment the words leave my lips, the world explodes in a flash of silver light. The broken bond, the jagged wound in our souls, does not just heal. It reforges. It snaps into place with the force of a supernova, whole and complete, and 1,000 times more powerful than it was before. A torrent of energy pours from me into him, my lunar magic flooding his system, fighting back the darkness. It is a searing, cleansing fire, burning away the Night King's corruption. At the same time, his raw primal alpha strength pours into me, grounding my cosmic power, giving it an anchor of earth and stone. He gasps, his body arching, his eyes flying open. They are no longer dim, but blazing with life, the gray irises swirling with flecks of pure silver. The wound on his chest closes, leaving behind nothing but a raw new scar. The bond is complete. I can feel him, his every thought, his every emotion, as clearly as my own. His overwhelming love, his relief, his awe. It fills me, heals the last of the broken places inside me. We rise together, no longer two separate beings, but a single, united force. The silver light of my magic now swirls around both of us, intertwined with the golden aura of his alpha power. We turn as one to face the Night King. The shadow creature recoils, sensing its impending doom. The balance has been restored. The Lunar Queen and the Alpha King are united, and their combined power is a law of nature. For our people, Kalen says, his voice a low growl that harmonizes with my own power. For our future, I reply, my voice ringing with the light of the moon. We move as one. He is the storm. I am the lightning. He is the claw. I am the blade. We are a whirlwind of elemental fury. He engages the Night King, his physical strength and newfound resilience pinning the creature in place, while I gather the full force of my magic. The moon, though hidden by the dark sky, answers my call. A beam of pure, concentrated moonlight lances down from the heavens, striking me. I channel it, shape it, and unleash it in a devastating wave of silver energy. The light hits the Night King. There is no sound, no explosion. The creature of ultimate darkness is simply unmade. It dissolves, along with the sky of false night it had created. The morning sun breaks through, its golden light washing over the battlefield. The remaining Umbra, their leader gone, screech and disintegrate, their shadow forms unable to exist in the sudden brilliant daylight. The battle is over. A cheer rises from the exhausted warriors, a sound of disbelief and overwhelming relief. Kalen turns to me, his face awed. He reaches out and gently touches the silvery mark that has appeared on my throat, the symbol of a completed bond. I reach up and touch the new scar on his chest, the proof of his sacrifice. There are no words needed. Everything is said in the quiet space between us, through the bond that now sings with a perfect, unbreakable harmony. Months later, we stand on the balcony of the great palace in Stonefang, a palace that is now our shared home. The northern lands are healing. The territories consumed by the Umbra are slowly being reclaimed, the balance restored. I rule beside him not as a consort, but as an equal, the Alpha Queen, the Lunar Luna. His council, once so quick to judge me, now bows to my authority. Liam's pack has become our closest ally, and he remains a true and cherished friend. His counsel invaluable in rebuilding our world. Kalen comes to stand behind me, wrapping his arms around my waist. He rests his chin on my shoulder, his familiar scent of pine and winter storm a constant comfort. It is no longer tainted by loneliness, but rich with contentment and a fierce, unwavering devotion. "What are you thinking about?" he murmurs, his lips brushing my temple. "About a girl who used to give her soup to a stranger," I say softly, a faint smile on my lips. "She thought she had nothing. She didn't know she was just waiting." He tightens his hold, his own hand coming to rest over the bond mark on my throat. "I was a fool, blinded by a crown. I'm so sorry, Alara, for the years we lost." I turn in his arms, placing my hand over his heart, over the scar that will forever be a part of him. We did not lose them, Kalen. We were forged in them. The pain made us who we are. I look up into his silver-flecked gray eyes. "It made you the man worthy of my heart, and it made me the queen worthy of yours." He leans down and kisses me, a slow, deep kiss full of promises kept and a future earned. We are scarred, yes. The memory of the pain will always be a part of our story. But we are not broken. We are whole. We are healed. And our love, born in rejection and reforged in sacrifice, is stronger than any kingdom, more eternal than any star. It is our victory, our peace, our home. The scent of moonflower and pine, of winter and starlight, mingle in the air, a perfect, harmonious song. Finally, we are complete.